Very much for your line of questioning. We now go to the gentlelady from Florida, Ms. Lee.
Good morning, and thank you so much for being here. I'd like to start by returning to the discussion of the Copyright Claims Board. And specifically, I think it's very interesting that you've had great use of that, and it seems to be off to a productive start. I'm interested, though, there is a set of claims that were rejected because they were non-compliant or they didn't meet the technical standards for going through that resolution process. Could you share with us what your office is doing to provide resources or guidance for those who are trying to utilize the Copyright Claims Board process?
Yes, thank you for that question. I'm very proud of what we're doing to help people use the process. We have a website with a wealth of information. We have a handbook to tell people what they need to do to use the system. We have people who answer the phone and answer questions if anyone calls. We're also reaching out to get law school clinics and volunteer lawyers for the arts signed up to help people navigate the system, even though they don't need to be represented by an attorney. And we're doing a lot of outreach, a lot of public speaking about it. The system is set up so that there are a number of safeguards against inappropriate claims being brought, and so that was very carefully thought through by Congress in enacting the CASE Act, of course. And there are several opportunities along the way. If a claim is non-compliant, the board attorneys will tell the claimant, and the claimant has 2 opportunities to revise the claim to make it compliant. And I will say some of the lack of compliance we see is people sometimes bringing claims that, for example, don't involve copyright law, maybe a patent claim or a claim against a foreign respondent, which is not permitted under the statute.
And based on what you've seen so far with the inception of the program and its progress to date, what do you anticipate being the future of the program? Do you anticipate it is going to be broadly utilized? And any challenges or things that you need Congress to do to help you succeed?
It seems to be very successful so far. The public reaction, the public reviews of what's going on have been positive. The system is working. We've had a number of final decisions, some based on settlements that have been entered into the record. And we have found that while some respondents opt out, many respondents also are happy to proceed in the CCB and prefer the certainty of knowing that their potential damages are limited. So we think it's working well, and the upward trend has been quite steady, so we think it will continue to go up, but presumably, unless something really unusual happens, the trajectory won't change. And we may need further resources, especially as we seek to further develop the ECCB, which is the Electronic Case Management System, and we will keep the subcommittee apprised.
Speaking of your electronic case management system, one of the things you touched on in your testimony was your efforts to modernize and replace legacy IT systems. Would you share with us what you're working on there and your strategic plan to ensure that you're making the right investments that are going to stand the test of time?
It's been a huge priority for the Copyright Office, IT modernization. We're now in the 5th year of our originally planned modernization effort, and now we're moving toward continuous development. The main highlights, as I described in my testimony, already we've moved from a very archaic paper-based recordation system in the last 2 years to one that's online. That's been huge. And we are now focusing on registration. We expect in the next year to begin user testing for various components of the registration system, including the handling of electronic deposits. We are also going to start recording notices of termination online, which we have not yet been able to do, and that will start in the next year. We are making more and more historical records available online, so people no longer need to come to our offices in Washington, D.C. to do research. And we're experimenting with AI tools ourselves to extract metadata from our records. So we have a lot planned.
Thank you. I yield the balance of my time to the chairman.